Hey there, mateys. This is Discovery Scouts, the Pirate City Caribbean film series. I just hang out for the Walmart today, drink water. I seem in my memory of Donovan and supervisor of Walmart, Cindy here. So she was caught about the very busy when I was. They were hearing me. They were hearing by me for good reasons. So he was deciding to most clock in about 9 to 6, his 8-hour shift. It's sort about to the wireless. He's working about the flexible, helping the associates, families, or friends, and the new cousins here. So I was saying supposed to be while he's doing. So I don't think exactly about while he's busy right now. He was gonna have to do sometimes, you know. But I can't believe where to get that was the last 10.5 months. So it could be about the Walmart Cars Associates. I was do something about the harassing, assaulting, and punching, the punching and pushing and shoveling, kidnapping. So they're being against the rules. Take a lot of those breaks and 2 hours and 2 times and during the 8-hour shift. They surely have the what they did, and they're seemingly fancy. They're right about over there and about on the straight to left, so we could do the pharmacy, so market, and Constitution is so very valuable. They thought about the use it about any time. He thought about for the authority where the Donovan is, so he still on the Walmart thing. I would think about for the Cindy's conversations. So if they pick up for all of this collection pamphlet says, so if you believe they're gonna have to clock out, it's not gonna work right now. So tell someone. So Natalie, Cindy, and Jim willing to help you with Trisha, Melissa, and Sunny too, and whoever kinda needs to. This is all kind of mine, guys. So it's so much. There's just so much to be amazing, guys. So I not gonna work over here right now. So I'm supposed to do the damn messed up. It messed up at about the last 10.5 months. So while I was working and doing it, Central Intelligence came out September 28th, 2016. So I did not know what he said about the clock out. I was doing an exit interview in about for 3 p.m. because of what he did. Sometimes I was fireable, letting go, quitting, losing job, and done. It was just undone. I was gonna have to go back for the work about Spirit Halloween those today. So 61 day to also have the total of 63 day. The only thing who worked there did about last 15 minutes, so we can have concluded about last 10.5 years, so we can have very enjoy your time. So I think it's sometimes I have to really not really saved. So I hear about the cold storage thing, and so I had to call out for unit immediately. So maybe it could be about once the problem. The trillium came in about the Walmart thing about the last 10.5 months ago, and Jim calls out for the associate with talking to Unity of Investigations. So the doing what we'll have to do is the black dudes just talking to the Walmart associates, maintenance, cars associates, and one of the guys says, don't talk to them. So while they're doing and working, if you talk to them with one of those peoples without permissions, they were getting fired, losing their jobs, and letting go. And that's gonna be about 2.5 once and for all for the reasons about the 6 foot days. They will get about 1, 2, 3, or 4 weeks. They'll get fired, losing jobs, and letting go. So they can't do that. That could be the rules anytime, any minute, any of the minutes of the ministry. But those are the educational from the college, from university to here to the associates with Walmart and out. It takes about 5, 10, and 15, and 20 years. And total is 30 years. From 25, but instead about for walking to walkable, I don't think it have about the cars associates anymore. So I just pushing one of the cars left there from my the neighborhoods. My dad, my dad called out from Andrew Pickard. His phone number was deleted. Was insane. He's not coming back. He's not coming to see Andrew again. So Andrew says we're not gonna see Simon again in a long time. So he told me about Republicanly. So that's his news Republic. He would have joined about the Hispaba there. I knew that, guys. I wasn't anybody. It could be someone else to do, and we have to do something once in a moment. You have to do the vlogs. Some of those of you, if he can, unfortunately, to reaction to the walkers. They wanted me to tell me to. So the tryouts, it's true. It can't be true. So so I seen Donovan just a little bit, seeing them once while he's working. So with Cindy, and she's not seeing me anymore. So I just not working there. I'm not doing a Walmart Cars Associates 2-week schedules anymore. So that's just his Andrew's dick. His problem was very sucks. Trillion's garbage, DVR, eligibility. They're all Republicanly. They were so damn well. So maybe they could do. What about the job farewell? Rest in peace, jobs. So every motion knows about for the October 2013 through September 2016. So that was been about the last 3 years. That was a census from the high schools through the end of the advanced programs during the join-in for the paid jobs. So I was a fail to do something about the job site, 2 paid jobs from high schools, an advanced program, and DVR eligibility in Twillium. What I have to think about most unexperienced for Alex, Megan, Rick, Leanna, and Jenna is mentioned seemingly. It could be Amanda. She was a self-employment businesses on Twillium. She lived in the Lakeland. She lived in the Lakeland, Tacoma, Washington, and she was a very kind, happy, or maybe seems evil. She's very ugly, seemingly ugly. The kind, ridiculous, so emotional for anything. For once they had Amanda's fault there for Brenda Miller's. So even time for once and for seeing Jennifer while she standing with the DK with Smoothie, and she works for the paid jobs as Tacoma Boys. She got employment here for the last 18 to 36 years. So but she's taking care about the very planning every time, every motions. Then I have started about for the last few things to do. So once and for everything could have a not to be alright thing. So I think about some the paid taxes for the debits, credits, and debit cards, and think credit cards should be only think about one of the working things on the Twitch. H1 is streaming and gaming channels thing on Pixelate, Apollo, Jackie Fest, Alex the Rambler, on the third, there's Milana Cookies, sorely did. That's what Thursday's Total War did. So I know that I have to did. So I have to supposed to did. So I've been watching about the new Third Age Total War. There were some the dwarves defending the elves, men's against the evil in the world. There's the orcs, goblins, urukais, evil men's, eastlings, haradrims, corsairs, and Moomakills, that's the monsters, and some trolls, olakais, and some wargs like wolves, dogs, and foxes, and hyenodon. That thing, as many as I could, as many as you can. Unfortunately, we do that all the time. Exactly once the wreckers me. So Claire's not gonna see me in a long time. She recognized that her boyfriend was she entertained me. She was watching my channels. She was watching on Tony Tonino's on YouTube channels. So she was very badly feeling about this. So maybe about Emma's sisters. Natalie, she moved to Los Angeles, California, and she was a photo shoot on the driver's license on her Instagrams, and she thinks really beloved those things sort of about Natalie Rose Jerome remaining for those streets, those kinds. Those are the best things about the world's things. If I think about the listening to my musical mystical, there's the guy's name, Charlie Chill. He reaches by Tony Tornadoes. He was while doing the punching Bridget West with his note for her nose. While she has, it's also by to Charlie Chill. She will never touch him again. Charlie Chill is a good guy. He has a turning to the pink hair, and Charlie Burns, and he's a good guy. Raised by Tony Tornado too. Samantha, and here's me, Matha, and Millie Mulder, the nerd speech, and there's kind of a I was gonna have to ask you something about very moments. So I have seen sometimes about Sander think about play by Kevin Quinn, a bunked. He was a very most magical expeditions. Expandables is very most kind, and a whole life thanks to the Disney Channel's original channels and series, and Stuck in the Middles, Bizarre Arc with Jake Paul, Peyton List, Cobra, Sky Jackson, Cameron Boyce, and recurring special guest stars Laura Morano, Ross Lanks, Colin Worthy, Randy Robert Hughes, and Zendaya with Casey Undercover, Bella Thorne, and Tom Holland at Spider-Man Homecoming, and Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark Iron Man, and Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, T'Challa, and should be coming out next year in May 2019, Avengers Infinity War, Part 1 and 2. So instead, from the director from Pirates of the Caribbean film series for 1st to 5th movie. So including the 6 coming out to today. So from the mid 1750 to 1751, it looks like it about the last 10 years for the 1760s. So anyway, so 1730s, Henry Tanner was born in Jamaica and Port Royal Lighthouse, and Will Turner's his son was his ship for the Flying Dutchman, and he's willing to superpowers to going down to the bottom of the sea. So the Trident, the Poseidon, was the curse on the Will Turners and his crew, and this is the ship with the flute, the galleon. There's a going down there to the land of the dead. So 1742, Flying Dutchman captured by Will Turner and his crew. So crew was transformed into the curse, was the dead man on the sea. So it's so long ago for the lightning thunderstorms there, supernatural powers there after battle off the Devil's Triangle. He will think about Salazar's ship as a Silent Mary. It could be stops. It could be to stop the ships. So mines have read about so the 9 pirate ships, and what's the sunk? Well, one of them that have about the 10 left to decide. The 9 was sunk. The one that is left to escape. So one Spanish Royal Navy as a note about Spanish warships. And Silent Mary has 100 guns and cannons on the decks. And they have a 420 crews. They included all of them. Once Capitan Amanda Salazar was behind the ships to the right, to the left. He looked over to the some spy glasses with the zoom, and he saw them to lift up the pirate flag, and the Mary was turning around to follow the wenches to sailing through the Devil's Triangle to going into the dark cave. And Jack ordered a foot crew from Morgan. He was suddenly wounded and died. And after that battle, he was escaping. He was kind. He was throwing the 2 ropes on the rocks, staying to the cliff, turning the wrench around the sea. And when the Silent Mary goes in and hits the strike to the reef, and to supernatural powers and heavy explosions, and turned the curse to the ghost sailors, and they bumped over his back, and his head was insane. He was totally injured, maybe dead. Explosion. The water's almost sliding in the red. It looks like about the red flower, and he was transformed into the curse. So it maybe Salazar was resurrected, and this is crew, and this is ghost ships, and this is turning to the shipwreck. So the Will Turner has the curse. Looks like about the sea turtles. Looks as kind of about the Dutchman pirate. That is not in the Spanish Royal Navy. It is kind of about the Spanish Navy. He looks like about Jamaica living there for the lighthouse, bottom of the sea, and the land with the dead. So Elizabeth's son was left behind for the younger, and then standing through the rocks there, tying over and about 300 feet. Most kind, particular about for Flying Dutchman goes back down the depths, and he would join in about former the British Royal Navy, and he was going back there to about 9 years later. After that aftermath, about the quest for the Fountain of Youth. So Bloody Rose, followed by the Modoc. Here certainly have about the Dutch barbecue. So it's known to the widely as Bloody Rose, as the pirate ships, Captain Barnett. He came in at about the darker cave. He says Dutch barbecue with the glass there is supposedly did about most kind about Mustangs, even though exactly what it had, the Dutch barbecue was destroyed by the Devil's Triangle on Salazar's and his crew, and Silent Mary was explosions with the cannon fire with the guns, cannons, any kind. Those that have pirate ships could shipwrecked, and all the pirate crew was killed, and maybe British as a shipwreck. British as a ship of starboard, and led by Captain Toms and his lieutenant officers and sailors and soldiers. They're going to cannoneers of fire. So guns ready, fire. They have estimated for 86 guns, and they're kind of about 43 guns in the fire to the right, except that the Silent Mary's crew of the Silent Mary was killed in the crew of the Monarch. The lawsuit about soldiers was killing everything. They killed Tom, and he choked his neck. He's gonna choke by Salazar. Maybe he choked his neck to the death. He threw down the burnt fire, and maybe Henry was holding his hand for the blood is dripping from the floor, from the ground with the wood. So he makes the noise there, clanging with the cup. And maybe Salazar was going downstairs to the brig. So maybe it could be one pirate left. It could be died. One half the only thing about the lost conscious to find a way to dispower for him. But he certainly knew about the curse stuff about for the last 51 years. Except a long time ago. It's exact. This is about for the last 51 years. So Salazar let Henry knows about the Jack was still resurrected from the dead for the spare time, but the supernatural powers of the Triad of Poseidon is the demon Telltales was underground for one of us. So we could go up there to with stun about confronts to the Silent Mary was back in the ship, was there towards them. But Monarch was burned and sunk, and the company was destroyed. The company was rumbled by letting destroy the Devil's Triangle. The Silent Mary and his crew was escaped. And Mayor Salazar was going to do the hunting pirates once and for all, one last time. So they're doing something about interesting here about bank robbery here for the Lost crew. So the Black Pearl was putting up there the dying gold there for the bottle there for Blackbeard's, and I was just saying no thinking about the Spanish Empire, except the Spanish Royal Navy, except that would do this anytime. Well then, most kind about the Triad of Poseidon for find Jack Sparrow. We were saying anything about any time. So Bowen was on the Red Dragon thing, and Barbarossa's fleet was eternity to joining alert, Gold Offensive, and Rising Phoenix. The nine pirate ship was destruction by the Silent Mary was killed. It was killed the pirates, all the crew, all the treasure was this grave on it is none. The kind of battle so ridiculous. So his ghost ships was prepared to crush the Red Dragon. So it looks open up for hole like a jaws like Corpidus, the Kraken, and Megalodon, and the shark's teeth like powerful jaws like make a hole the front of the half of the ship for the Red Dragon. But Bowen was insane for the Battle of the Devil's Triangle for the 1751s, and he died. But he died and sunk down to the pirate ship was destructed today. The first time the Red Dragon was sunk, Moro de Motok breaking news about Hector Barbossa was going to meeting Shansa, the Sea Witch. The Sea Witch was kind of the very most particular about these kind most codedly about his reaction to this 8 pirate ships was destroyed by the Silent Mary. Spanish Navy on 1750s on 18th centuries was becoming all of this rise, all this day they've been kind of about he's having to dealing with the dead. She has the compass was Shocky, but she gave Barbossa and the Jack's compass. We're willing to deal with the Salazar and his crew, so we're gonna have to deal with them for the Scepter, the Queen Anne's revenge. To an encounter by Silent Mary was on it today for an escapee from St. Martin. Was just a bit kind from motions that about to deal with him. He's hearing to looking for Jack Sparrow, and Salazar stops at the crushing into Queen Anne's revenge and attacking, and they jump aboard and the red ships for good. He was the new reasons. He was certainly to tap his source. One of his men will die. Have to tap 1 or 2, and 6 crew, and 6 tapping anytime. Except that for the crew for Queen Anne's revenge was rest of it. He says they'll leave it come aboard. They're coming aboard for Silent Mary was unwelcome. It was seemingly abandoned by 400 Blackbeard ships on the middle of the sea. It was crushed down. It was his fate is unknown. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming in, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my content, so we have no time to see you guys much before it hits free to death. Don't forget my new friends on YouTube channels, actor, actress, director, and according to my people, the fan size. Keep it ready, mateys. Thank you. It's good to see you back.